So congratulations to John and Pam Perret for winning the U.S. Green Building Council Central Florida Award for your house for its LEED certification.
Thank you. We are very excited.
That's fantastic. So tell me a little bit about how you came up with the idea of going through this process.
Well, I'll tell you, the first inspiration was Hurricane Charlie, 2004, and we went away for the weekend and never spent another night in our house. One of our beautiful oak trees came down in the living room, and that was it. So at that point, we were faced with the decision of moving or rebuilding, and we chose to rebuild.
And then you just thought, maybe we'll go for a house that's LEED certified?
Well, it wasn't LEED certification, wasn't on our mind at the time, but environmental quality was.
Okay.
And so we got introduced to the LEED program through our architect. And we wanted to have an eco-friendly build, but the LEED concepts came to us from the architect. And once we...
What about that made you decide, okay, this is what we want to do? What about LEED?
That's a good question.
Well, we originally wanted to make sure the house was energy efficient, and the LEED for Homes program was in its pilot program when we were designing our house. So it was a kind of a good way to kind of do a checklist and see what are the areas that we need to be thinking about. And then going through the process, it's nice to know that we have that certificate hanging on our wall in our house. And if we were, not that we would want to sell our house, but if we were to ever sell our house, it's a good selling point, I feel. So.
And what about your water consumption, your energy consumption? Is it lower than a typical house? And if so, I'm sure it is, but by how much?
Absolutely lower. The water consumption, we've done a number of things with water consumption, including limiting the turf and having drip irrigation and having dual flush toilet systems, but the real eye-opener has been the energy, because we have a photovoltaic system and a number of other features, including insulated concrete forms, construction, and all of that. And for 3,200 square feet of air-conditioned space, our electric bills in 2009 averaged $90 a month.
Wow, that is fabulous.
And in Orlando,
would be so happy.
it really is remarkable. I mean, we didn't expect that, but there are months where we get a nice little credit from the utility, and we're very pleased to see it.
You guys have done a great service to the community by really opening up your house to I've been on several tours at your house, and what is it that drives you, gives you that goal to want to be open to the community? How did we get so lucky?
Well, I think it's all of our responsibility, really, and you have to do no more than look around you and kind of open your eyes to the planet, to our community, and realize that this is not an infinite resource. And on a daily basis, the choices that we make are impacting how that resource is going to survive into the next generation. And this is a small thing, really, in comparison to the billions of people that are on the planet. But everybody can do something, and hopefully everyone won't have a hurricane and have to rebuild their home, but everybody can do something, and everybody should.
We certainly try to inspire that. Education is important to me, and I feel that by opening our doors to people and showing them that it's not anything drastically different than what they're used to, that they can make these tiny little changes in their regular lifestyle, or changes to building design to make their home more energy efficient or more water efficient. It's little tiny things that make the big difference in the end. So.
And it becomes a habit. It's just part of your daily routine. And we get asked frequently, okay, what do you have to give up in order to have these energy or water efficiencies? And I can tell you the answer is nothing.
So it's almost like there's a culture that you've created in your own household with you and your children. Do you think that culture is, becoming pervasive, and is the general public embracing sustainability in your mind?
Well, we've certainly had a lot of people
Yeah.
become interested in what we did, and that's been gratifying, of course, to be able to talk about it and share our experience. And in our little household, if I leave the water on, my daughters remind me about it.
Yeah.
So it's becoming a part of their mindset as well.
But this was a tough process to go through, so I want to just ask you one last question. If there's somebody else that was interested in building a house that was LEED certified, what advice would you give them?
Well, I think it's gotten easier than it was when we started our project in 2004. The products are now available. There are more contractors and subcontractors that have familiarity with it, so I don't think that it is as big a challenge, but do the research up front. Before you design the layout of your home, have an understanding of what it takes to get the certification, and understand what the benefits are, because we went into it without having a full appreciation of what it would do for us, and also what it took. I mean, construction is a challenge in the best of circumstances, and to attain the certification, you really have to think it through. So that's what I would say.
How about you?
To me, the biggest thing that I would want people to consider is the team that they assemble of experts that are going to work on the project. We took a lot of time interviewing people to make sure that personalities kind of blended well, and that people were listening to what we were wanting, and they could translate that into a structure. That's difficult to find in any circumstance, but you need an expert that can also lead you in those areas that you don't really understand as far as energy efficiency and water efficiency. So take time to make sure that the team will work well together, because they have to work well together. Otherwise, the construction process will not go well. So
Great advice. Congratulations again, and thanks to both of you for your impact on our community.